Doing some evening stream, so I'm going to do some more art assets for the Spelljammer Combat Exploration supplement that we've been building for the DMsGuild. Give me a moment here to check my signal, and then just do the shout outs, and then we'll get into this for a bit. So hold on real quick. Let me see if this is coming through okay. We'll get into this for a bit. So hold on real quick. Let me see if this is coming through okay. Yeah, it sounds like it's coming through a-okay. So let's see. If you follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter. So you can follow along with me there. I also hang out on Discords a lot. I'm about to punch my signal across the Discords while I do my spiel. So here's my spiel. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create RPG supplements, PDFs. I publish them. Currently, I'm invested mostly in 5th edition D&D. I publish on the DMsGuild. There is a slew of work I've already produced that's in the description down below. If you click on any of those links, they'll take you either to a bundle of discounted books or a product page. You can click through any of the book images that you see into the product page. If you are on a mobile phone, it will have an eye icon on the right-hand side of the screen. And if you are on a tablet or a desktop, then the product page underneath the title, like you'd see here underneath that, it says it has a link for full preview. If you click on that or the eye, either one, it'll open up a PDF. Shows you the entire document. It's 100% preview, cover to cover. There's probably about 150 some odd illustrations throughout the books that are linked down there. So if you're an art enthusiast, be welcome to thumb through those and take a look. If you are a D&D enthusiast, certainly be welcome to check out the mechanics, the rules, the ideas that are in there. Everything I build is meant to be used from level 1 to 20, so feel welcome to run a full campaign using the mechanics. If you like them, consider making a purchase to show a sign of support for the channel, what I do, and I really appreciate it. So that's my spiel. I'm going to reposition my Discord arrangement so that we can see things. There and there, and here's the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon to help boost the signal and catch when I stream. I stream Monday through Friday in the morning with my coffee, and then on Mondays during lunchtime, and then the evenings, typically Mondays and Thursdays, but this week we're doing Tuesdays. So hey guys, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to, first off, I've been, my best editor, my gal, she says that red is way too flaming red. So she wants me to back off a little bit on that. So I am going to back off a little bit on that by dropping the opacity a bit down, just to get the flame off of it so much, you know? So there, that certainly takes down the edge a bit, and I'm going to let that sit to see if she is happy with how that goes, and if she is, then so be it. She may have other suggestions, and generally she's got really good eye for color. So me having no color vision at all, really appreciate her input. But that's all I needed to do on the book cover today. So we're going to, no, there we go. Beep, 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 beep. Probably should have saved that because we reduced the. It doesn't matter. It was just a reduction. Anyway. What we're doing right now is so we've been doing page layouts for the Spelljammer's Combat and Exploration book that we have been building art assets for and doing page layouts. And once this 90, Jesus, we're up to 99 pages currently. Once this monster is laid out, and we get the page dressing on, and we get all the illustrations in place, then we'll be able to actually publish it. But the back end of this thing here is converting Lives of Araxis using the mechanics that we provide here in Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. So as such, it's designed to, it's mostly focused around space combat, dog fighting, sliding through asteroid fields, and astral storms, as well as boarding. So if you're going to board ship to ship, you need tokens to represent the crew, And if you buy the book on Roll20, for instance, you get a stack of image assets that you could use. If you are a normal motivated DM, chances are what you're going to do is you're going to do something like taking a snip tool like this and just like grabbing the image and making a token out of that, and then just drop it into your VTT of choice. But A, we don't have access to that art. B, I'm not a thief. And then C, what if you don't want to print in color and you only want black and white? You need assets. So we are going to create some line art assets of the different characters and creatures that are at the 5-foot scale that you'll encounter on board ships that you're engaging with during the adventure. So I'm going to dive in here. I have a 300 by 300 pixel square space set up that is convenient for dropping in as a token onto Roll20. I'm going to go with just line art, basic line art first, and then we're going to lay in just some loose, like, I'm not going to go crazy psycho with these things. I want to keep it light and loose, get you the characters, and we'll see if I actually adhere to that or not. So, let's see. I have grabbed a stack of reference images because when we do color, I will need to have access to that information. But I just want to use these as inspiration for me to be able to sally forth. So, as it were. So let's see. We could, let's start with Plasmoid Explorer. So I'm just going to take this and drop it down and hide the rest of the reference stuff that I have, because we're going to go through all of them eventually. I'm just going to use a white background to make it easy on the computer. We'll probably, for the black and white tokens, we'll have a white background because that makes sense. And then for the rest, when we get into the color for the virtual tabletop space that we'll provide, then we'll just we'll probably do a transparent background and just go with a loose color. So let's see what happens here, huh? So let's see. These plasmoids they don't explain why. At least I haven't noticed any reason why. But I'm going to go down here to here and then here and get rid of this. We're going to call this the trash file, where we'll be able to send the plasmoid reference image to the trash file once we're done trashing it. So Plasmoid Explorer. It's a military operation that they're performing here, the Xeraxians. So I don't know why they aren't using military, like elves, other than what they do have going on is that on Sartell's ship, when you encounter the elves and the plasmoids that are mercenaries working for them, there's only 6 sailors total that are aboard Sartell's ship, and if any of them get killed, then you're going to be light on weaponry. There's 2 ballistas on Sartell's boat, and they each require 3 crewmen to fully operate. They're only first rank crewmen because they're just commoners, and so that means if you get any of them killed, you're going to be short on crew. I believe that it doesn't specifically spell that out in the book, but that seems to make the most sense to me as to why you would have mercenaries instead of actual elves, because the elves would be zealots. They're trying to save their world. In their eyes, although it's a dark future, they're heroes. They're protecting their home, and they're having to take drastic measures to do it. So I don't blame them for that effort. So I don't blame wizards for not having a crew, like a full crew of elves, because they would all fight to the death. And that's not very useful if you're trying to create more crew. However, you could have up to 60 crew, like 60 passengers aboard Sartell's ship, and they don't all need to be commoners. There's 6 of them that are actual sailors, but it could certainly be more. So you don't necessarily need these plasmoids to make your adventure do. So I just, you know, it is what it is. I'm not. I am. This document is updating the ship interactions, the ship maneuvering, the ship exploration stuff that happens in Light as Araxis. I am not completely rebuilding that adventure to use alternate logic and, you know, my own DM sensibilities. I'll do that probably later. So I just want to kick out this document as is, and that would be a fun little way to have like neat little small tear out documents that I could add on to the actual product once it's released, as like coupons and stuff, you know. So I could get into that space, but we are here. That feels right. Today I discovered that ducks love crushed tortilla chips. I think they like the salt. But I live near a pond, and those ponds are attracting Canadian geese right now. So like they like to dumpster dive in my apartment complex. So there's all these cute ducks. They're all running around the dumpster, trying, you know, picking at whatever trash is on the ground. And I'm like, and I got Mexican takeout the other day. So I had a stack of stale tortilla chips that I was literally in the process of taking to the dumpster and throwing out. When lo and behold, I made eye contact with a slew of ducks and I began to feed them. And they absolutely loved it. So I made sure I lured them away from the dumpster so they wouldn't accidentally eat any glass. And just kind of sat there and fed ducks for a good half hour. It was incredibly relaxing. I appreciated that opportunity. Ducks some fun. We can have up to, like, I catch them sleeping at that pond all the time. There could be sometimes up to 50 ducks there, and let's take a loaf of bread. I used to take a loaf of bread and just hurl it at them, and they would just chase after each other. Like there'd just be gaggles of, like, literally gaggles of well, geese, but there'd just be, I don't know what a gaggle of ducks is called. I don't think it's called a gaggle. Maybe it's just a flock. But regardless, there was a slew of them. I'll laugh if it's actually slew. There was a slew of ducks, and they would chase after that bread. And now that I know that they can eat stale tortillas and like it, I am highly motivated to neglect bags of tortilla chips. I don't know. I'll have to experiment to see if the fresh ones outperform the stale ones. But I honestly don't think ducks are picky. I think they're just going to take whatever they can get their little beaks on. Bills? Whatever they can get their bills on. So plasmoids have these neat little energy nodes inside of them. Like, I guess they're almost like little chakra points. I think that's really cool. Leave that guy up there. He's not hurting anybody. We'll do like that. Plasmoids have got to be the most boring things, man. There we go. Somebody in our neighborhood apparently has a train whistle as a horn in their truck. That is fascinating. Yeah. I wonder if they find their chakras attractive. I seriously doubt Wizards goes into the details about how they reproduce, but I mean, I've only honestly read, I think, the description like half of it. There we go. There, I've got plans within plans going on over here. I'm pretty happy so far how this sits. Just want to blurble it out, blurble just a little bit more. Do like I just want to do a fusion here, like really Like, if it doesn't need to maintain energy to have like a limb extended, I feel like it would absorb it back into its body. Like, I really want to, I like the idea of this being like something that you're like the audience is anthropomorphizing more so than like I lead them in that direction, but I want them to draw that conclusion for themselves, really. Yeah. Like that. Oh, I take this down to 50%. Is that a 2 pixel line? Oh, 5 pixels, nice. I'm going to come through and do the color, then we'll be able to do these like the lighted up effect. My belly says, erase that. Go back here. Yeah. Plasmoid. That's just kind of fun. I dig that. Let's see if these guys are armed with anything specific. Kind of working in the wrong direction here, but it's where we started, so it's where we're at. Let's see, what you got? Various alignments. Cebu's as menagerie, Astrals and Plasmoid stat block. Okay. Plasmoid, going to have my Plasmoid. Plasmoid stat block goes to. What kind of weapons you got? Pseudopod, javelins, mole bead attack. Sure, buddy. Free transform? Nah, not an option. Why isn't it an option? Let's ungroup that. That was weird. There we go. Free transform equals. Bring it down a touch. Maybe we keep it out. There we go. Duplicate that layer. Chip chop chiri chiru chirom. Continue. So I'm starting to lose scale. So yeah, I'm pretty good with that. Let's go with that. That. It's working out. That's super fun. Checking my lines, liking what I'm seeing. Okay, cool. So let's see. Got that. Got that. Spear. Javelin. Take this one down like a bunch of notches. Draw over it. And get rid of that. There we go. Perfect. I probably don't, I imagine I'm going to want a more sketchy style overall, so I don't have to be so painstaking, but there's so little to do with a plasmoid that I kind of just want to make sure I don't make it, like the texture, if it were to be sketchy, the texture would be completely wrong, so I kind of have to run it this way, even though I really don't want to. I'll take that down like a lot of notch. God, this guy's looking good though. I like this, it's fun, it's a neat little aesthetic. You could probably make that head rounder, but do I need to? No, probably need to. Nice. Delicate lines. Nah. Kinda like that. Kinda not though. It's a delicate flower. There. Nice. We're gonna be back, probably doing more page stuff on our page layout on tomorrow morning. Or, depending on where we're at with the page layout, just doing artwork for the page layouts. And then that'll be Wednesday. And then Thursday in the morning, we'll be back doing more Spelljammer artwork. And then Thursday night, we'll be back doing Eberron from probably 6 till 9, working on the Necromancy Lab some more to try to get that finished up. I like how that's coming along, but I need to keep moving along. We have to do asset tokens like this for Eberron as well. Plus, we're not done with the maps yet. It is a heavy lift, man. That is a big project. Nice. Keep it going. Not bad. this stuff back in. Pop. Let's see. Get rid of that layer. Take this one down to low 25%, and then we'll build on top of that, and then we'll drop this one down to 50%, and then this should be pretty good. And then we can move on to the next piece. Yeah, let's take this one down a bit. Since I can't see behind the weapon, get rid of that. I don't like how that angle is going though. Yeah, that feels right. Not quite right. There we go. Yeah, like that. Very good. Funzo. Nice. I'm almost done here. I'm already happy with how this is. I'll probably put in 2 hours tonight, and then I'll jump off stream and do some work around the house. This stuff is incredibly satisfying to do. I find myself saying that over and over again on all these projects that I've been working on, and it really just makes me feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. Sometimes I get afraid that someone's gonna scoop, you know, like I had this like when I was doing, when I was creating the 5-color mana spell point variant rules, I was so paranoid because it seemed just like it was like the most obvious thing in the world, like color mana. It just seemed like the most obvious thing to me in the world. And I was just desperately killing, like just grinding out hours, trying to get the damn thing published as fast as possible. Because I was like, this is so obvious. Certainly someone else is going to do it. And I was thrilled that no one had. And but I've got that same, because I know there's other people on the DMsGuild in the Creator Lounge that are working on Spelljammer stuff, but I'm the only one that's really streaming it. So I'm like, God, am I being scooped? Am I scooping myself? And is somebody stuck somewhere and don't have the same scruples as I do, and they're gonna take it? Like, I'm just, it is an unhealthy level of fear that makes me act, I think, poorly. And I'm really, because if I'm going to get scooped, I'm going to get scooped. Following the philosophies of the conversation we were having earlier today, there's literally nothing I can do to change whatever it is that's going to happen in the universe. And so if I'm going to get scooped, it would be specifically to trigger an emotional cocktail that my heart wants to feel. Otherwise, it wouldn't have guided me into that circumstance. You have to trust your heart, even if it hurts you, because it's trying. If that happens, it's not that your heart wants to hurt you and you shouldn't trust it. It's that it wants you to prove, and this is honestly a pretty bleak example, but it wants to prove that even if it steers you in the wrong direction, even if you don't like the results of the circumstance, you're still willing to follow your heart, even if it leads you to disaster, because that disaster is exactly where your heart wants to go. And the only reason your heart wants to go there is because it knows who you're going to be on the other side of that, and it wants to meet that person. And that's terrifying. Most people don't even want to face themselves. They hate admitting who they are, what they've done, what they want, and what they'd be willing to do to get it. Like, that really disturbs the human creature a lot. And but beyond that, they don't want. We really don't want to be able to, peel back the mask. The whole point of us being here is to not peel back the mask, to let ourselves fall into the emotional grind of whatever it is that happens. So me being paranoid about somebody taking my stuff is rubbing in against that sense of injustice and falling prey to unkindness in the world, which is a theme that a lot of people have to experience. And I think I get to experience it through this panic that I get about getting scooped. So ultimately, I really don't have any choice but to appreciate it, because it really is just going to make me a better person. It's just I don't want the lesson. But I don't have to be afraid of it, because whatever it is going to end up making us all better off. And it's not going to be as bad as I'm afraid it is. And maybe even just generating the fear, the apprehension, the field of apprehension that resonates outside of the heart, even just that unto itself can be the experience that the soul is craving to experience inside this meat suit. So simply being afraid that something is going to happen can be simply enough. I just needed to get into a situation where I would be afraid without necessarily having to be punished for it, not actually have that fear come true, depending on how much I'm willing to embrace my heart. And that doesn't prevent the thing that I fear from happening. It's not a bargain. Okay, if I allow myself to be afraid, you won't do the thing that I'm afraid of, because now you're just lying to your heart about being afraid. Instead, you're hopeful. You're apprehensively hopeful. You won't be held accountable for what you said you'd be willing to endure. It's tricky. It's tricky. You have to be on board with, boy, I could have my stuff stolen at any time. But you can have your stuff pirated too. And just because you publish something doesn't mean you're safe from anything. After I publish the thing, now it's a matter of, is it going to get pirated? Do I care about the money? Well, yes, of course I care about the money. I invest a ridiculous amount of hours into producing these things, and it's the best retirement plan that I've got here in America. So, yes, obviously I want to make money. But if you're not afraid of being poor, you don't care about holding on to it, or like what's going to happen, blah de blah. Which is why it's nice as an artist in general that you have a day job that resolves your fears. You may be frustrated and angry that you don't get to produce as much as you want daily, but you have a home to go and sleep in at night. And that provides you a level of safety that can afford you a level of fear that is such a finer grade. It's like such a, it's all emotional at that point. It's emotional fear. It's not, my God, I'm going to get killed. I'm not going to get stabbed in an alley when I sleep underneath some trash tonight. It's not that same kind of interaction. I'd like to think most of that suffering is cycled out of existence, but obviously it hasn't. There we go, that's a good line. But this is all just Alan Watts, This is all just old Tibetan, I guess that's Buddhist philosophy. Don't fear the authority. Not bad. Almost done, dude. Almost done. see that. We only take this down to 50. Maybe, how about 35? Nice. And we can take this down to maybe 75. That feels good. And then the stick that is holding stays at full. So great. That's that. And we'll put that there. Neato. Okay, cool. So that's a plasmoid. We'll hide the color reference for now, and drop that into position, and we'll put a lock on it for now. Why not? Here and here. What's next on the block? This will be a challenge. Do not need that. Plasmoid hide. Do not need that. Do not need that. Do not need that. No. What are you all about, buddy? Okay. All right. Well, let's just start. Okay, let's drop this down to transform. Drop it down some more. We don't need color references yet. Don't even necessarily need full body on that. How's that flaring? Is it doing like that? That is far too far. Let's go over here. Try that again. So. Like that. And then what? Like that? Is that how that guy goes? No, it flares out more on the sides. Like that. I probably don't need Prince Zelith because he doesn't actually get involved in any ship combat, but I'm adding him just to complete the set. It goes like that. You know what? I have not set a timer. So I should do that. You know, so I know when to come and go. I have water. That's good. Yeah, let's set a timer. It's 7:12. I've got 100 minutes. I've got 100 minutes left. So, do I? Oh God, no, I don't. I've already been at this for a fucking hour. I don't have. I have more like 40 minutes left. So, let's go ahead and get our timer timing. Ain't that just elves for you? I'm gonna skew. And then free rotate. There. My body says, oh. I have rarely encountered such a sense of peace that the artwork's gonna be okay. Like, I have really stressed in the past, like, is this gonna look okay? Am I doing this right? God, I've just never felt so unconcerned about the results of the work that I'm producing here. And I think that can only really, I think if that's the evolution that I what's the word I'm looking for? Receive? Occur? What is the verb on that? If that's how I evolve, shut up. If that's how I evolve, then that is amazing. Because that means that none of the art that I create would need replacing, because I would be confident that the art I produce is proper, is good. Maybe the evolution is just believing in myself. That's like letting the power of friendship win the day. It's amazeballs. I know I'm investing a lot of energy in these lines, but I really want to just make sure I get the perspective right. If you got good this is so. hypocritical compared to the conversation from this morning about mecha and vehicle engineering and the precision of architecture that goes into those types of objects because of the hard line style, and how much I like the organics, because organics looser and it's easier and I don't have to worry about the precision. But when I do something organic and loose, I'm obsessed with getting it right. It's so funny. Hey Hornetico, it's good to see you, man. We built we're building Lazarax's tokens. I think that's what it reads on the thing. But all these ship battles can even though I'm providing mechanics that makes it fun to not engage in boarding, if the team does board, as a responsibility, my responsibility as a good producer of adventure content, I have to provide tokens for the creatures that they could be battling aboard these ships. So I find myself, again, creating tokens, both black and white in color, but this time of the NPCs and specific creatures that are throughout the adventure. But luckily, I'm really enjoying the process. Okay, no one can fool me. I know there's text there. I see it. What you got going on, Coolio? Currently putting some more work into some comic pages myself. Awesome. I'm really trying to lean into the black and white manga style with this piece. Yeah, right on, man. Good luck. Good luck, my buddy. I finished watching the second season of Shadow and Bone on Netflix. That is a cool show. Seems like they wrapped it up pretty succinctly. But the B cast, the side characters, the crows, the rogue gallery of criminals, they're so much cooler than. Isn't that always the case? It's like the B team are like the cool characters because you can sense that they're throwaway and not important. So it's like the stuff that they engage with feels more like a normal adventuring as opposed to like epic save the world bullshit. It's like they just always end up feeling to me like they're a lot more likable because there's less drama wrapped around them. They just feel like they feel more real. As it turns out, cross-hatching is not something you're good at. Okay. So you're using a painty grayscale style for the shadows instead. Yeah, right on, man. Pick your battles. Pick your battles. Hatching is definitely a skill to gain. It looks gorgeous if you put in the hours to make it look good. Like you put in the hours to learn it, but it is not easy. Like line density and direction and angle and there's a lot of variables that go into hatching. I do not blame you one bit for choosing a different path. You can easily fill books worth of just pages full of hatch marks, figuring out how to do your line density and the angles that you like I talk about with brushes, that language. Developing that language so you understand how you engage with that visual medium. It's like you can't just have a hatch brush. Like they have them, but you may as well learn how to do it just by hand yourself so you can create different hatch brushes to simplify the things that you know that you want to engage with. I'm pretty happy. One net piece. Ah. Oh boy. Okay. So wonderful, yes. Still exhausted, don't mind me. The hatch brush tends to not be super precise. Yeah, okay, so I usually end up in, ew, gross. Yeah. Gradient, go with the gradient. Good call, buddy. But yeah, now that Shadow and Bone is out of the way, we're almost done with Picard season 3. Picard season 3 is kicking ass. There is some badassery going on inside that TV show, man. Like once they start screwing around with the bounty hunter, oh, that shit gets sick. Like that is serious playing with portals. Yeah, okay, no complaint there. Other than it feels like it's kind of pinching into the space a little bit. So I'm going to back that out. Woof. So what I'm doing here now, I'm going to be doing this for the Eberron adventure as well. The same token production process. So everything about this Spelljammer book feels like it's practice for the Eberron. For the Eberron work, but I gotta say, I get twice the views on Eberron that I do for anything I do for Spelljammer. The Eberron community is hungry for content. So I'm obviously obsessed with the mechanics that we've built here for Spelljammer, and that's why I so intently want to focus on it. But I'm going to be glad when it's done because I really I love Eberron. I just want to dive into it. But first come, first served. So Adam was able to get the edits done for this first. So this is first on the plate, first to be served. But all that really means is that once this is done, I have like a really open path to be able to dive in and just do shitloads of Eberron work. And I'm starting to the muse is starting to feed me on that 11 by 17 two page split for the control panel adventure style. I think she's happy with that. As though like it wasn't her idea in the first place, but still, credit where credit's due. In Muse we trust. All hail Muse. I feel like I'm off the path. Let's see if I can go find my way back to it. Yes, okay. Subtle but satisfying. Let's see if I can. What the hell? There, that should be better. This is a fashion challenge. I don't know fabric and fashion as well as I should. You really, okay, to be a really, really good illustrator, you gotta know like a shitload of stuff. You gotta know architecture, you gotta know a bit of engineering, you gotta know materials, you have to know fabric, how like fabric lays down, how you stitch it together. Seams, styles, the effect of weight, like all these things contribute to having a better, like it doesn't have to be like photorealism isn't necessarily the goal. We talk about style a lot and leaning into the shortcomings, right? At some point you're like, I know that this isn't photorealistic, but the style is aesthetically pleasing. It looks cool. Like when you can get to the point where it looks cool, then it becomes debatable whether you need to actually be able to have photorealism in whatever it is that you're depicting or not. Because if it looks good, it looks good. And like a big thing about anime, like a lot of the manga artists are incredibly good at depicting accurate anatomy and intentionally adopt that manga style because it's expressive. But if you're really good with like real anatomy, then you can put your own spin and flair on that general manga style to be able to have your own unique signature on it, you know? So you don't need photorealism, but you need to understand how physics work. Well, I do anyway. I need to understand how physics works so that when I'm producing, like, say, something like this, I understand, like, the starchiness. You know, how stiff is this fabric? What is this material made out of? Is it like a curved plate? So it's like actually like a splint, or brigadine that is wrapped in a leather, like a painted exotic leather with like incredibly folded steel inside of it. Or is it actually just molded leather, you know? I don't know who it was. It was a YouTube video essay on how studded leather isn't a thing. Studded leather is just brigadine, where you can see the studs that are attaching the leather to the metal. So that studded leather is just leather with studs stabbing into it. So I feel like there's a point in here. I can bring that, perfect. That's pretty good. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Where are we at? We're at 7:30. I've still got another 20 minutes. So, still got 20 minutes, then I'll be back in the morning. Uh-oh. All right. I'm going to play this out, but I think I'm about to get some bad news. I think that phone call was about bad news. Wish my family well, okay? I'm gonna break stream etiquette and listen to this voicemail real quick. Hopefully it's a nothing burger thing, but I feel compelled, so give me a moment. I apologize. Okay, there's no emergency. I can check this later. I can check that out when stream is over. I am happy to be wrong. Sometimes I get this feeling. Yeah, I don't need to be messing with that. I was happy with that angle as it was. As it was. Okay, so that's all that neck brace sort of. What is that? Gordette? I think that's what those are called. Pretty happy with that. Okay, cool. So we got that going on. If I get rid of what'll end up happening is we'll probably end up, filling up our space with this a little bit and then cleaning it up. Thank you. Yes, Gordeau. It's obviously it's French. Amazing how all the heavy armor is French. Like at one point, those guys were really fucking killing it. But I mean, hey, they're a landlocked country, right? Am I right about that? Maybe they have like a river that lets out through Britain or something. I don't know my European geography like I should, especially from like from a tactical perspective. I am ignorantamerican.net. Boy, I'm obsessing over that. Oh, do they? Well, shows you what I knows. I don't recall the French having any kind of significant navy, though, right? I mean, like they really didn't get into fleets at all, did they? I guess if they had the Strait, they kind of like if they started building up a bunch of boats and they had the Northern Sea, right? Huh? I don't know. Yeah, I think they're just too far into the land. Like I think England probably would have just sunk all their boats if they tried to build a bunch of them on the river there and then push them out into the water. Like, what are they gonna do? Like outflank England? Fuck you, buddy. Ain't gonna happen. Yeah. Gotta give it up to Spain, though, man. They had a time. Everyone has a time. I mean, like, look at the French with their armor, you know? Like, that was a time. Don't compromise the lines. History buff. Okay. Yeah, right on. Hey, Colorfly, what's up, dude? Yeah, you know, so far so good, so what, right? Thanks for the compliment, man. So, okay, well, I've certainly put that in place. So let's drop that down and let's see. So he's gonna have collarbone here. He's got throat here, neck here. Collarbone goes out to here. Collarbone goes out to here. Throat, neck structure here. Structure here. Throat. Throat. Adam's apple, because he's a guy. This will probably be the last piece that I produce tonight. Yeah, you can see that the angle's off there. Angle's off. So let's drop down that opacity to like that. And then let's take this thing here. I'm gonna duplicate that before I make any mistakes I regret. But yeah, see, it's not sitting right. All of this is sitting okay. It's this bit here that's broken. So I need to push this out like that. How you doing, Fly? There, easy fix. Actually not. See, this is going like this, but that's sloping. That's like got this like look to it. I can't let that hang. Gotta fick. Gotta fick it. There we go. I love doing character sketches. These are all the NPCs and creatures that are aboard the ships in Light of Zaraxis. So, since I'm building a conversion for the guide for the adventure in the Spelljammer adventure, the Spelljammer Combat Exploration book, we have the Light of Zaraxis adventure conversion. So that compels me to provide tokens to have aboard the ship when you decide to close, if you decide to close distance to the 5-foot scale to capture a ship, and you want to depict the battle on the 5-foot grid, then I feel responsible for providing tokens, even though anybody can just steal, like you can just make your tokens by stealing it out of the book, or if you buy Roll20, they'll provide you with tokens, but it just doesn't feel right. Especially because there's diagrams that I want to create for the supplements that's going to require depicting things, creatures engaging at the 5-foot scale. Like, I have to be able to depict that, which means I need some sort of tokens to depict that with, which then means I have to produce tokens. I mean, DMsGuild has some assets, but they certainly don't have astral elves. WotC does not provide DMsGuild with assets as fast as they produce supplements that require them, which is a real pain in the ass, honestly. If anyone was going, if any influencer, quote unquote, was going to have a conversation with the new influencer liaison with Wizards of the Coast, I guess his name is Dixon. Like, the first thing I would say is, can we please get assets into the DMsGuild that are relevant to the new settings that you guys publish, that you make money off of us creating additional supplements to? You could, at least keep us current with the artwork that you're investing into the product for the setting that you're only going to probably ever build one book for that setting. Like, throw us a fucking bone. That'd be very nice. Holy crap, that is sitting fucking pretty. I feel though like I need to back that down a little bit. I feel like there's a warp that I need to do, just a little touch. I feel like spider senses. Nope. I was wrong. I felt like something happened over there, but I didn't see anything. If the armor flares out too much, it starts to look like breasts. So I have to be careful about the angles. I'll be able to embellish that form later when I do this. When I create the, I was about to say when I do his sister. No, when I create Zedalia's token, I'll have an opportunity to do something similar to this in a female form. I just really gotta watch your language. Am I the worst? Probably not. There, see? Point to point. Looking good. Wait. Not good. What are you doing? But having said all that, it is an elf. So it's not like I have to have a lot of bulk. I don't have to have a lot of shoulder. I don't have to have monstrous testosterone running through this guy. So what are those pauldrons doing? Let's look at that French word pauldron, yo. Pauldron, gonna have a pauldron. Some shit art. I mean, it's great art. It's just it's shitty resolution. That's what I'm trying to say. Obviously, these guys are published in a Wizard of the Coast book, and I am not. So saying that their art is shit is inaccurate. Zen, what the hell is this dude's name? Nah, fuck it. Prince X. Scooch this over for a bit. Let's drop this opacity down and get this one back up. Like that. My belly says, "Oh." Something like that. It's a pretty boring pose, huh? Pretty boring pose. Look at that cool helmet going on. I feel like I want to have that cool helmet in my life. Give me a piece of that helmet action. Give it to me. I want it. All right. I'm compelled, so I'm going to take another 20. muscles here. What? No. What? Get out of my life. Wrong layer. I'm gonna put a lock on that guy. Not like that. Too late. There you go. Here. Here. Smaller. Tie. Get some maskles on this dude. Time for some smooth jazz. K-Y-O-T, the coyote. Smooth jazz. Smooth jazz. I'd rather be listening to Tool, but I'll get demonetized just like that. So I cannot. I use Epidemic for my music source. Pretty happy with it. It's about, I think I got about 7 hours worth of, tunes that I've been listening to like literally for a year at this point. I'm not bored of them yet. Like I got bored of 2 songs so far. Like that's it. That's pretty good music. Singing along, yo. Okay, now what do I want to keep his mask down or up? Where am I at on screen? There I am. Like I feel like it should give like an ugly mark, like an inbred prince ugly mark somewhere. Like a cleft lip or something. Oh, dude! I'm pretty happy with how it looks, actually. Like I can scowl for days. I've got that princely scowl down. Nothing is ever good enough. Of God, my father would criticize me if he saw his current affairs. What I really like, and I didn't put it into the book, but what I would like to do as an extension is to kind of reframe the whole Zaraxis destroying the world. Like it's assuming that you're on Toril, right? A place that's got a fuck ton of like 20th level everybody's. And the Zaraxis decide to drop a world-ending thing there of all places. And it makes me want to think that like the team like it's such a non-threat that the superheroes of the world just take care of it and it's like whatever. But then it's like, well, Toril didn't work, so we got to go seed some other planet. So they go find another planet that than Toril is. So now it's like if we know what could happen and we know how to fix the problem, and the problem is the fucking elves. So we got to go end them. Otherwise, they're just going to keep trying to. They couldn't get us, but they could get the next guys, and that can really play into your sense of justice or vengeance. You know, depending on what kind of a paladin you have on your party. I just feel like I just feel like it doesn't have to be. Oh, my world is going to be ended, and I live on Toril. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Hey, Dennis. This is from Light. Sorry, I only just saw you. I only occasionally look at the sideboard over here. Do you not use a Wacom tablet? And no, I use a Wacom. I use a 6x9 Wacom, and I use an art pen. One of the Cintiq Z-axis art pens that let me. Here, I'll show you. I'll just grab a random brush. That lets me do the spin. It has that tilt access, which is critical for most of the forest work that I do. But this is from, if you're familiar with D&D, this is the Light of Zaraxis adventure, and I have a 100-page supplement for the physics, combat, distance, visualization, oxygen supply, gravity fields, and interacting with objects in space. It's a 99-page document currently. We're in the process of doing layouts. And the back 25 pages of the document is converting Light of Zaraxis into using these advanced physics that we've developed for space combat. And so I've gotten through, and this is like the 96th episode. All the prior episodes was me building all the maps, all the ship token assets, all the additional ship, because we have like the 500-foot vessels, and then we also have like the small fighter craft as well. So we operate at 5-foot scale for creatures, 50-foot scale for fighter crafts, and dogfighting amongst vessels, the 500-foot scale for vessels and squadrons of fighter craft, and then the 1 mile scale is like 1 mile is the maximum extreme that you can attack something with a ranged weapon and hit inside of one round. If you have to fire at something that's more than a mile away, it takes more than a round for it to reach the target. So if the target is aware of you, it just steps aside and you automatically miss. The only way you can hit a target beyond 1 mile reach, depending on its size, could be 1 mile, 10 mile, 100 miles, depending on how large it is, but it's going to take a longer and longer period of time to arrive. And then Spelljammer physics in 5th edition has things slowly come to a stop. So ammunition propels for 24 hours and it peters out at that point. So this this back section is all of the mechanics, and we've broken it down into all the areas that need to have additional information or new information about how to use these physics that we have for space combat, like dogfighting with an elven armada ship, or like an elven star moth and stuff like that. Like if you're in a wasp and you want to like dodge in and out of asteroids while you're chasing after a Neogi night spider, we can do that for you. That's actually one of the adventures that we have here. So this breaks it all down. So that means I need to put diagrams, maps, and examples of how all this stuff works, along with actual illustrations of locations, characters, and scenes. So right now what we're doing is, since we have all the ship token assets and all the fighter ship assets, we now have to have 5-foot scale assets, all the tokens for all the different types of creatures that ride in these vehicles. So when they board you, I can have diagrams and depictions of like, well, now the elves on the Star Moth are trying to board your ship, and here's how they look, and here's how that looks like. So I have to build all these assets out. So with this here, this is actually a 300 by 300 pixel square. So when we drop it into Roll20, which is my VTT of choice, we'll actually probably be able to do something more like this in scale. But right now I'm just trying to lock down the looks of this guy, because we have the example of what his armor looks like from the actual adventure that Wizards of the Coast published. But from that I have to extrapolate. Well, I've chosen to anyway. What does this guy look like? So I'm in the process of armoring up using the armor that they provided, like here. And I had the pauldrons on next, but I wanted to get the face. I wanted to get the face figured out. So that's where we're at in the process, since you asked. So that's all the stuff that we're doing, and I'm in overtime right now. I was going to stop at 8 o'clock Seattle time, but technically I have till 9. I was going to work on more page layouts off screen, because I'm having an argument about a block of text that isn't quite fitting on the page the way that I want it to. But that's boring content. I have found that people do not like to watch me just sitting there and typing, erasing, shuttle. It's crap content. Stuff like this people like to watch. So, is that lasers and other energy weapons? Oh, that's how you rotate the brush. Yeah, I'm wondering that. The Cintiqs, like the $2,000 monster monitors that are built into it. They have that Z-axis brush built into it. But these little 6x9s, they're like $300. They're like a tenth of the cost. So they save money by not providing the rotating art. It's called Art Pen. It's a specific separate buy, and it by itself they charge you $150. But it's super worth it, because it lets me do fractals and recurring patterns at different angles to be able to create different types of. Anyway, you know what I mean. What's up, lasers and other energy weapons? Lasers and energy weapons. I don't know what you mean. What is lasers and energy weapons? Because now I'm curious. That guy looks scowly, and I'm down with it. So I'm gonna back this guy off a little bit. I'm gonna drop down the size again to go back to where we were. Get back, Loretta. This actually is probably a good size to have it sit as a token, right? But I am currently here. I'm going to drop the opacity a bit here. Super drop the opacity there. I'm going to start working on I meant the weapons you were talking about, space weapons. Oh, it's Spelljammer adventure, fantasy adventure in space. The default weapons are ballistas, mangonels, trebuchet, but we have an arcane cannon, which if you're a spellcaster, you can focus, like concentrate on, to be able to create a scaling magical effect that deals larger amounts of damage as you higher level character. So, and then the arcane cannon is the same type of weapon that beholders use. They're ice fault cannons. So there's only really 2 like actual lasers that they have in the game, but they technically don't even like the ice fault cannon is the only laser that actually exists as like actual like actual like rules as written. Actually, bring that in a bit. No, I did not want to do that. I did not want to do that. So we have rules about like ammunition and that laser, that 1 mile range. That was I mean, obviously it's going to be able to travel for an entire day, and if you can go 1 mile in 1 round, 1 round, 1 minute. What is it? 1 mile in 1 round, 1 round, 1 minute, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 1 day. That's a magnitude of 5. So it's 1 mile, 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,000 miles, 10,000 miles. 10,000 miles. So like a ballista bolt or a catapult stone will propel and be able to deal damage to any target that just happens to stumble into its path within 10,000 miles, because it takes 24 hours for that ammunition to run out of steam and then just basically just hang in space. That's how Wizards of the Coast describes magic physics, how things decelerate in speed over time. But they didn't give us how fast it happens. Like they just said, yeah, things just come to a stop eventually. It's up to you. It's like, well, if it's fucking up to me, then let me go ahead here, hold my beer, and I will tell you, I will figure out for you how long that's going to take. And so I did, and that's kind of what this book is full of. Like Wizards didn't have the capacity to really explain to us how long this shit takes to have happen. So it's up to me. Because I volunteered. So, like if you want to have an effect like a ballista technically only has a 500-foot range, but that's because of gravity. It just plump, it eventually just hits the ground. It hits the ground, it decelerates and it drops. So that's a hard limit that you have inside of the game unto itself. But I just want to drop the opacity on this a bit. Get that hard black off of there. But since you don't have that, what's a reasonable range to put in place if there is no gravity to slow a weapon down? And so, so there's the expression, you saw it coming a mile away, right? Well, if you apply that to weapons and you literally see them a mile away, it means here they come. What, is it going to hit me? It's like, no, I'm literally watching it coming this way. Unless I can't move, I'm going to be able to get out of the way. So that sets, like, it's a stupid joke, but it's memorable. So if you see something coming a mile away, you can get out of the way of it. So that means that the effective attack range is no more than a mile. And so that means that within 6 seconds, these things can travel a mile, which means it's 60,000 miles. No, it's 10,000 miles per hour. So that's really fucking fast. No, that's per day. So round, minute, 10 minutes, 2 hours divided by 2. Magnitude is 500 miles per hour. So like it's firing off like almost at the speed of a bullet. So that's how that works. Like it just takes a lot of a lot of logic and a lot of time. I've been like the core vehicle mechanics we're using here were developed about a year ago, and had some good play testing put into it to make sure that they work, and they do, and they're fun. And then when Spelljammer came out in August, it was like, well, all these physics that we've developed for these vehicles work for wild space for Spelljammer as well. So now we have to, because we built them originally for Descent into Avernus to have better vehicle mechanics for the Infernal War Machines, the Mad Max trucks that demons run around and driving in. So we had to build out good driving physics because I didn't like the physics that they had in Descent. So I built better physics, and then when Spelljammer came out, it just happened that the exact same mechanics worked, except that they were just 10 times larger. Because we were already using Infernal War Machine trucks at the 50-foot scale. So when they came out with Spelljammer, and it's like, well, Spelljammers are the exact same, except they're at the 500-foot scale. It's like, well, crap. There's our answer to fighter craft. Like I can have a 15-foot fighter craft, like a war skiff. It's only 15 feet long, and I can have it flit along in little squadrons at the 500 foot. Anyway, not very realistic, but fun. Absolutely in space, but there's no oxygen, no air in space. So, how do thrown weapons work when they fly? Exactly. They just there's an air bubble that the spell jamming helm that makes ships fly. It generates a field of gravity that pulls air to it. So you've got this air bubble that entraps your ship. So everything inside of that air bubble, like on top of the deck, everything works pretty much like you expect it to. But as soon as it goes out of that bubble, it's vacuum. So you can expand the range of your, like if you're throwing a dagger and it's got only 30 feet, inside of that bubble, it's going to stop after 30. It's just going to drop to the ground like you'd expect at the long range. But if you throw it and it goes outside of the bubble, if the range is far enough to, like if you're targeting something outside of the oxygen bubble, then it goes into void range. You've got gravity range and you've got void range. And the void range is drastically further. Like I said, if I throw a dagger moves at a slower speed and stops after 2 hours, after 1,000 miles. But it'll still just creep along. It'll just still keep on going. So, but it eventually grinds to a stop. It's just siege weapons are large enough to be significant, like to be a significant threat for a longer period of time. But they too also grind to a halt eventually. And like this is all the stuff that I have detailed out in those 100 pages worth of book, which is why it's 100 pages of book, because you have to like talk about all these little things. Like what happens to your crew when they run out of food, or like what happens if you got rats that are eating your food. Well, D&D has a thing called lifestyle. And it has rules about safety and health involved. Like if you're in squalid conditions, if you run out of food, and you're basically forcing your ship into a squalid condition. So we have to develop refresh rates. Like how much does it cost to maintain a comfortable lifestyle aboard your ship? Or what if you really want to up your game and you want to have a wealthy lifestyle or even an aristocratic lifestyle aboard your ship? Where can you go to get the supplies to be able to maintain that lifestyle? How much is it going to cost you? And what does it do to your crew if you promise them a certain level of lifestyle to be hired onto your ship and you can't maintain that level of lifestyle? They will mutiny. So now we have to have mechanics about mutinies. Blah, 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 blah. Like a billion little details that you cram into as tight a space of words as you can. And then we make pretty pictures. These guys are twins, by the way, so I can actually use the same... I could technically... I'm going to have to use a different angle. I can't use the same model. I was just thinking, these guys are twins. Maybe I can reduce my time frame, but I really don't mind doing it. There's no reason to reduce the time frame. But yeah, does that make sense? So, that's why I get paid the big bucks. Like if you check down in the description down below, I've got a slew of different books I've already published on the DMsGuild. The one that I like the most is the color mana spell point variant rules. So like if you want to play MTG and D&D, you can have like white mana. If you want to play a Boros, if you want to play a Boros Reckoner Warlock, then you can have white and red mana to cast your spells with. That kind of stuff. That's the kind of thing that I build. So Wizards won't take my calls, but I keep saying, dude, I build these things for you. You should bring me on board. But, oh well. I forge my own path, and I do it because the muse makes me. She compels me to produce, so I do. See, you got this curve here and this line here. That's what I'm working with right now. Here, and then go here. So I do. I'm on stream every morning for 2 hours, and then on Monday I have a lunch stream where I develop martial powers, which is a mana-based martial combat systems like alternate spellcasting. It's kind of like Path of Exile, in that you have different effects that you can stack up, and you spend mana or you maintain auras to be able to produce effects, and like you can get equipment with sockets. And I asked Path of Exile if they wanted me to build an RPG for them, if they wanted to fund a Kickstarter. They said no, so I went ahead and just made it in color mana instead. So I'll just bundle it with the spell point. With the color mana spell point variant rules, so that all 13 classes in D&D have the same resource mana mechanic to do all the stuff that you want characters to be able to do. So that's the kind of stuff that I build, like deep mechanical systems that are useful to both DMs and to players. I'm a forever DM myself, and I pretty regularly run level 1 to 20 campaigns. Like in about 250 hours, I can get through a 20 level campaign, and then we start a new one. And so when I build tools, I intend them to be used both by the DM and the players, and I expect them to be used in the 3rd and 4th tier pretty regularly. So they have to work, and luckily I have a team that I can playtest that stuff with. So it's I'm really fortunate to have such a hardcore team that lets me like develop on the high end of the spectrum. I think I'm missing text. Nope, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. This goes further than I have it, so we're going to keep going like this. No, it's gonna wrap around, and his ears are gonna get pinched. I don't see much compensation being offered here for the ears, but I'm gonna leave the hood off. Like I want to have the hood up like that. So you can have eye contact with him. I think that's the smart way to do it. I also think it's just like super fucking cool. So. So this dude will end up having 2 tokens, visor and visor down, visor up. So it'll be like Prince Zadal or whatever his name is. Prince Zadal, visor up. Prince Zadar, visor down. And all these tokens will be in a zip file that people get if they decide to buy the book. They get all the tokens, like the 22 ship tokens that we have, all the maps to the adventure. So like you can lead a squadron against the Imperial Citadel and destroy it if you want to, and all those rules, all that stuff is all in there. It's like when I build something, I'm not like, this is a cool idea, maybe it works, you should buy it. It's like, no, I test all this stuff, it works, and I use it in my own game. And here's an example of how you can use it in your game too. Here, Light as Araxis, blop. Like the next thing we're doing is mass combat, and we'll be doing we're going to convert Dragonlance, both the adventure and the board game, into the mass combat system that we've developed over the past year. So it'll be as sick as this is. That's honestly going to be a pretty big feather in my cap. I mostly do it for the prestige. The massive accolades that I gained from my audience of 145 for the efforts that I performed. But I'll be opening up playtesting for Dragonlance probably in September, and pretty much anybody that I ever playtest with is like, yeah, I want to buy whatever it is that we're testing. Like the Eberron adventure that I stream along with this Spelljammer stuff. I've DM'd 15 different people in 4 different teams for the Dragonlance adventure, and 2 of them are actively running it as DMs themselves right now, and a third a third party I didn't even know. He was like, yeah, I need an 8th level Eberron adventure. I'm like, try this on for size. He's like, wow, I want this. So it's, you know, I'm not trying to brag or nothing. But it's, I consistently, like, I really try to walk the talk when I build stuff. Like, this is like, so I can like understand where the problems are, so I can just build a more solid document. So I build something that's actually worth people's time. And it's like, hey, if you want to buy this mass combat system, here's 50 pages of Dragonlance adventure conversions so you can run the adventure as written using mass combat instead. And if you don't want to spend $90 on the board game, here, play D&D instead. Like, that's my intent. And after I get done with that, I'll do the same thing for Descent into Avernus, converting all of that over so that the goal. I don't know if you know any of this shit, but Descent into Avernus, it's about a city being dragged into hell, and your character's going to hell to try to free the city. But the way that I ran the campaign is you go into hell, and then you use the city as a base of operations, and then you build an army, and then you force hell to give you the city back by building an army strong enough to hold off the blood war while you negotiate. So that's the thought anyway. So when I build out the mass combat system, I can then work on converting all the events and challenges in Descent into Avernus into that mass combat system using the Infernal War Machine mechanics that we have. And like Zariel's blade ship is just a spelljamming ship. So if I wanted to, we could make it a space opera campaign instead of, you know, as written. And my own homebrew, my own home table is an Eberron space opera campaign where the world was destroyed to prevent demons from taking it over, and so the core of the planet, the gatekeepers detonated the core of the planet to drive the demons, to shunt the world away from the demons. Because either we destroy the planet and pick up the pieces on our own, or demons literally kill everything and there's no point. So let's take the loss, destroy the world as we know it, and rebuild it as we can without demons killing us. That was the bet they had. That was the gamble they had to take in my campaign. And so, you know, 30,000 years later, there's spelljamming ships in all the nation. Like Thrain is on its own asteroid planet, and Carnathi is in a close orbit with it, so they war all the time. But like spelljamming is prevalent in Eberron. The time travel campaign that we're running currently, once that concludes, we're going to start a spelljamming campaign, and it's going to be basically the team is part of the Moor Hold on Corvair, and they have a low orbit mining refinery that they harvest materials from the asteroid belt, the Tears of Sybaris that circle the planet still. They send up freighters up there. They find an asteroid that has a signature of metal in it. They then send a spelunking team in to survey the asteroid. It'll be a hex crawl, so there's a percentage chance that there's monsters inside there. And if they pick an asteroid that has monsters, then they put together a kill team, and they go into the dungeon and they clear out the caverns of all the creatures. And then it's open for mining operations. So it's a Spelljammer space hex crawl campaign with the goal of mining asteroids to gain more resources, so you can get more ships, so you can mine more asteroids, so that you can have more wealth, so you can maintain a higher level lifestyle for your guild. Yada 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 yada. We'll probably play it for like maybe 10 levels just to get a taste for it before we switch gears. But once we do, I'll be able to also build that into a D&D campaign product that I'll be able to put out on the DMsGuild that I can sell along with this Spelljammer supplement that we're building right now. So, and I'll have probably a year to actually run that as a live game at my own table while I'm playtesting and building out Dragonlance. So I'm always stacking thing. Like all my shit has like, because I playtest, like literally playtest everything that I build, everything has like a really long production cycle. So I have to think like 2 years in advance. Like when this campaign ends in 10 months, what am I like? What's going to be dropping off of my workbench that I can put this on? So I have to time my stuff so that I can complete one project to begin another. And I have to playtest. So, because if you don't playtest, you're full of shit. Like I have yet. Now there could be something out there, but I've seen over a dozen mass combat options offered on the DMsGuild, but I have yet to see anyone actually implement it in a campaign. Like if you want to use my mass combat system here, this is where you can use it. But I've used my mass combat system in 3 different campaigns so far. So like I know it works. Sorry, really not trying to brag. I'm really trying to drive home a point that like if you're a third party person, you don't mean dick to anybody. Like you don't have any built-in clout. You don't gain any respect. You have to claw that respect out from people by proving it. Every fucking day you have to prove yourself until enough people believe in you that you can build up enough momentum to actually do the work that you actually want to do. What I actually want to do is Kickstarters and build out all this stuff to just like, so I can get paid in advance so I can quit my fucking day job. So I can do this 10 hours a day. That is what I want to do. So I can have 2 playtest teams a week. I can put in 10 hours of stream time for art, asset production, and layouts. And I can hire writers at 12 cents an hour. So like that's my 2028 goal. So it'll be a while to get there, but in time I'll earn it. So, and I'm hoping to find a decent team that like decent writers and editors that are like good technical editors that I can rely on. I'm just constantly hunting for somebody that's got really, really good mechanical chops. The editor that I like the most from the books that I've created in the past couple years was a guy named Hidden Dave, who did all the editing for the 5-color mana spell point variant rules that I have linked down below. And those are all 100% free preview too. So I mean, not only do I put all this work into the book, I actually let you just read the entire thing for free and then decide if you want to buy it or not. It's like the worst strategy ever, but it really lets me prove, you know, like if you don't like my shit, don't pay for it. Don't buy it and then be angry. Like just read it, and if you like it, then buy it. And that's how I'll be able to actually accomplish Kickstarters. Because like I have like X thousands of pages of books that you can read that are all like bleeding edge cutting technology in the 5e space to be able to do Beck-Me stuff using 5e mechanics, you know? Anyway, I really am excited about it, so I geek out about it a lot, so forgive me. I know it's not exciting listening to my business plans. But that's why I stream every day. Well, except for Sundays. I don't stream on Sundays. Or on vacations. I'm really just sweating the details on that line, can you tell? Let's see. I think it goes like that. Daytimely timer. I have a 20-minute timer set so I can make sure I'm staying on track, so I don't fall so like I can afford to fall into a rant for 20 minutes and sit here and just like mince on a line, you know? Like I can afford occasionally to sit here and just grind on this line while I think about the future. But when that alarm pops, it pulls me out of the reverie and it makes me move on. So gotta have a timer, otherwise you can get lost. Especially artists can really just get lost in the detail and lose perspective. No, not the right line. Just like that. And once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I can actually, I'll be able to monetize YouTube. So I can get, every time I log on and I start streaming and build art here, I literally get paid in real time for the artwork that I produce. So then at some point, it won't matter that I make everything I have 100% free preview because I'll be getting paid to produce it. And then the end result is here's a book, you know? Same kind of idea with Kickstarter. Like after I produce a number of these and they're good ideas, I put out enough good ideas, then people will just have faith that, well, yeah, Phil's probably got a good idea. Let's back him because we believe in him. That's the dream. That's every artist's dream. But it takes a shitload of sweat and effort and focus and patience to get there. Plus, you know, skills a little bit of it. But I screw up a lot. But you guys get to watch me screw up and then try to figure out how to fix it. That's integrity. Like you can't get that from AI, right? That feels right. I think I can leave that like that. I am getting some serious what's the name of that anime? Hold on. I can't believe I'm blanking that title. It's not Bubblegum Crisis. It's something. It's like that. It's not Ultraman. I'm gonna remember it as soon as I log out, I bet. Not Ultraman. Now I got Ultraman in my head. God damn it. That's not the point. All right, clearly I have to resolve the outer line before I resolve the inner line. Clearly. There we go. God, it's not Ip Man. It's like that though. It's like the original Power Armor, Power Ranger type Japanese show. God, I can't believe I'm blanking the title on that. I used to know this shit like backwards and forwards, man. I have been out of the anime scene for like a while. It's once you start seeing the you can do it, like all you need is faith storyline, like I resolve all my problems with the power of friendship sort of thing, or like this is like I think Love Hina was the last harem anime that I watched, but Love Hina was actually pretty fun though. I enjoyed Love Hina, but like Tenchi Muyo and Ranma 1/2 is like the grandfather of all harem anime, and it's fucking hysterical. Oh my god, I love. Well, at least the first season, the first season of Ranma 1/2, most of the second season, both of the movies and all of the OVA of Ranma 1/2 are just amazing. Like I'll watch those anytime. Anything late second season or third season plus is just garbage because it's just kind of the same thing over and over and over again. But man, I love Ranma. Obviously, the ears can't stay out, but it's okay. Gotta fix that line. It's not quite right. There we go. Getting some serious Sam Harrison vibes going on here. Sam Harris, I think that's his name. Actor of RoboCop. It's RoboCop vibes. The game RoboCop vibes is what I'm really saying. Cool. All right, so that's good. But we have that crest, right? I'm like, I want to make these quick and sketchy, and like I'm just grinding myself down to like super fucking geometry. And it's like you are not walking the talk that you claim that you wanted to walk on this, Kearney. You are in the process of owning yourself, sir. But I am not lamenting the results though. I think it looks really cool. But I got to figure out that helmet. I think it goes up a little bit more like this. God's willing, I can keep the color simple. There. I love how that line is just hitting on where his eyebrows are at. That just feels right. I gotta keep that center line in mind. I mean, there is no center line in the illustration that I'm duplicating, but the center line has to exist for perspective. That line doesn't actually hit there. It's here. See, it's offline there. Actually curves around. Oh wow. That looks cool though. It's very, very cool. That's awesome. Look at that. Lining up. Look at that lining up. That's so sick. Okay. Oh yeah, that's not. Fascinating. Okay. Hell yeah, dude. We built this. We built this right the fuck right now. Okay, now that we have that figured out, right? All that so we could lift the hood. Guyver. That was what I was thinking of. It's like the Guyver. Thank you. Not McGyver, but the Guyver. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you. The stuff reminds me of the Guyver. I was definitely more of a Bubblegum Crisis fan, though. BGC is super cool. But I just like chicks in power armor, so I mean, cheers. I hear ya. Where are we at in reality? Shit, it's almost 9 o'clock. This is supposed to be my breaking point. I'm gonna see if I can just do this real quick. Real quick, he says. Whatever. Zelith, that's his name, Prince Zelith. Like that. That feels right. Yes, ma'am. All right, my dudes, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here for the night. We're gonna be back in about 9 hours, and we're gonna do some more art. So, and then on Thursday we'll be back. 22 hours later in the morning on Thursday morning to do more art. And then we'll be back Thursday night and we'll do more art. And then I'll be back Friday morning and we'll do more art. And then on Saturday, I think I'm actually going on a ferry ride on Saturday morning. So I don't think I'm gonna be on Saturday, but I'll be back on Monday. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop here while I can. Hell yeah. We did some work tonight, sons. So I will catch you guys. I'll catch you guys in 9 hours, and I hope you have a great night. Thanks a lot for being here. I really appreciate. I just appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. And there we go. Cheers. Bye.